Hi guys, wanted to do a little bit of a vlog here today, something different just because I had a number of things that I wanted to talk about that didn't really feel like something that really necessitated an entire video for that one topic, and having a bunch of little 2-minute videos just didn't seem right. So just having a bit of a vlog talking about a couple things here. First up, I wanted to talk about something I mentioned in a previous video. Which version of Shenmue II do I like the best, and why? My last Shenmue video I mentioned that and said I'm not really going to go into the differences too much between the two versions, all the little technical things, and that's been done to death, and I've talked about a lot of those even in some of my reviews and things, but just something to think about that as I've been playing, and like why I really like both version and what I hope to see in the Shenmue II HD, what version they kind of stick with more, some features and things like that. But my first time playing Shenmue II was the original Xbox version here. This is the one I picked up. This is the one that actually I bought an original Xbox just for this game. I mean, I would have been happy just owning this. I got other games for the Xbox, but this is the entire reason I got it. And as much as I enjoyed that experience, I loved my first experience with Shenmue II on the Dreamcast, and that was actually not the PAL version. I've yet to be able to play that. I have not got my hands on that. It's caught up in price so much lately, but the all Japanese version. And as I've been learning a bit of Japanese, and I have this basically memorized, it really wasn't a problem for me to go through the whole game in Japanese. I mean, the combination of being able to play half the game blindfolded and also slowly learning bits of Japanese added fun to the experience, and I immediately preferred this within the first couple hours of playing it. And I think a lot of that has to do with Shenmue is odd that it's not really a series of sequels. It's one long game just split into parts because it's too big to have one giant release, and I think that gives it a different feel. I mean, it's almost like you take the 4 discs of Final Fantasy IX and you split that into 4 games. It's almost, that's kind of what Shenmue is to me. That has that feel for me. It's not really sequels, it's just one big game. They have to wait a while, a long while, between segments. So jumping systems doesn't appeal to me as much. I like to have the whole experience on one thing, and that's what it was designed for. It is a Dreamcast game, and it was only in North America that it was ported over with a bunch of changes made. And just different changes on just with the controller itself, some different, slightly different control mechanics, some things shifted around. I felt more in tune, more of a continuation from the first Shenmue using the Dreamcast controller and those mechanics, and little visual changes that were done in the Xbox version. I really liked the Dreamcast version. To me, even though there were some quote-unquote improvements to the Xbox version, I actually like the way the Dreamcast one looks. So I like the way it plays better, I like the way it looks a little bit better, and just having that continuous experience on the same system, that really did it for me. I really like the Dreamcast version best, and I love this version because I'm incredibly happy to have the original Xbox version, because unless the English voice track is included in HD or whatever, this is the only way to have that English voice track, and it's very nostalgic and interesting, but I absolutely love it so much more in Japanese after finally playing both Shenmue 1 and 2. I played through both of them now in Japanese, but particularly Shenmue 2. I love the voice acting, the English ones in Shenmue 1 and 2. Adds kind of that 80s kung fu movie vibe to it, but it is a totally different spin, a totally different experiencing in the Japanese. It sounds so much more serious in a way, so much more quality, so much more in line with, say, the Yakuza series. It just has more of that vibe to it. It has a different feel. It loses to me a lot of that, transported, translated, dubbed over 80s, cinema feel, like Hong Kong flick over here, but yeah, it's just a different experience, and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely prefer the Dreamcast version, and I really hope that Sega takes that into account with Shenmue 1 and 2 HD. I hope that a lot of the stuff is more intact from the Dreamcast version, different signage issues and different brands of things on like the vending machines, different stuff. I really hope it stays closer to the Dreamcast version. And I mention that because I think at this point it's pretty much a guarantee that Shenmue 1 and 2 HD is not only happening, but is going to come out before the end of the year. It's a little iffy there. Sega's not had the best track record the past couple of years, past like almost decade really, when you really get down to it. So they could have been stupid and not even bother to do something that's such an easy money grab. They can even kind of lazy port it over and like not do a whole lot. and it would still make them a ton of money. But I think they're actually going to do it, and I think with this latest leak, I think we're going to see it a couple of months before Shenmue III comes out to really capitalize on that. But when we're going to see it exactly is an interesting thing. I don't know why they haven't officially announced it yet or shown anything. I have a theory why, but it seems a little bit ridiculous because Shenmue 3 seems to be on schedule. I'm actually a little surprised, but I really think we'll see it before the end of the year. I think November, December, probably a little bit closer to Christmas itself, we'll actually see Shenmue 3. So Shenmue 1 and 2 HD, for them to capitalize on that, would have to be out by, say, October at the latest. So, holy cow, that's not very long. You're looking at just half a year, really, for it to come out. Why haven't we even had an official, yes, we're actually doing this? My theory, I don't know if this is right, but the only thing that I can think of is I think Sega is waiting for there to be the next big Shenmue 3 related announcement or reveal, whether it's, say, like Monaco or waiting till E3, something like an actual trailer with gameplay that really shows off Shenmue 3 and really brings that excitement back to the mainstream, and then they're going to announce it. I think trying to piggyback off that without having to really put much of their own money into advertising it, because the issue that Shenmue 3 has right now is that for about the past year, a lot of the information and excitement and news has only been within the Shenmue community itself. That kind of dissipated. When it was announced, it was huge and everywhere. The general public was like, wow, Shenmue, I've never played them, but this is cool. And that lasted till the end of that year, I think. And then after that, if you're not really already within the Shenmue community and already someone who's going to buy it anyway, you haven't really heard a lot. It hasn't been a lot of mainstream excitement, and it really needs to build that to be successful. And I think Sega is maybe realizing that and trying to piggyback off of any news explosion, any kind of renewed interest in Shenmue 3. So that's it as far as Shenmue that I really want to talk about for now. The next thing is really just complaining / telling a funny story, because if you've been watching my videos and keeping up with stuff, you've seen that in the past less than 2 months, month and a half, roughly 2 months, I've been getting a ton of pickups for Laserdiscs and CEDs, and we got lucky at some thrift stores. I mean, really, just from Christmas till now, the end of February, has been better for the collection, so to say, than the past maybe 2 years put together. It's been insane, and just out of nowhere, and it's finally kind of trickling down and stopping, and it's almost overwhelming. I appreciate it, and it's awesome, but it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much at once. But some of that stuff, I understand USPS is frequently overwhelmed. The amount of packages and mail, just things being sent at one time, mistakes are going to happen. I mean, it's just a crazy, huge system. But mistakes should not be the norm. So that's why, I'm one of those people, I don't like complaining when mistakes happen, because mistakes happen. People are human, and it's a huge system. But when mistakes are the norm, I get a little pissed off. And just even experiences from some family members lately, sending a package from South Central Pennsylvania to Colorado, and having it get there, and then for no reason, no problem with the labeling, no shipping issue, whatever, it gets to the right post office, and then it gets sent back to Pennsylvania for no reason, and then sent right back without any interference from the sender, nothing. No one had to do anything. It literally just went Pennsylvania, Colorado, back to Pennsylvania, back Colorado, then delivered. No reason. I had another package that left from Maryland and went to Western PA, back to Maryland, down to DC, somewhere in Virginia, outside DC, somewhere in Virginia, back to Maryland. I don't think the original post office it was shipped from, back to Maryland, then to the regional sorting facility, then to Philly, and then to where I am in PA. Just all over the map for no reason, just craziness. Normally you think, okay, from whatever post office it's leaving from to the regional sorting facility, maybe one stop in between, depending on what happens, and then 1 or 2 more hops over to where it's being delivered if it's across the country. So 3 or 4 stops makes sense over a couple of days, but not going around in a circle. I mean, I could have driven to where the post office was sent from and back in a tenth of the time. It was just absolutely insane. And that's the thing, is all the needless waste of man hours and gas and just energy that it's crazy, the expenditures. I mean, the overhead has to be just insane for this happening to thousands of packages all the time. Like, how much waste is there in this system? And this happened to a couple of things recently. And then I had another one that was sent that I'm hopefully getting today. My fingers crossed. You'll know. I'll upload something saying I got it. You know, really important package. I'm waiting to tell you guys what it is, but it depends who you are. To me, it's like probably two of the coolest things that I'm getting recently. It's just something really cool that I want, and got an amazing deal. It was sent from Washington State, and went from there down to the regional sorting facility, and then was kind of in transit. It's an in-transit destination with no scans outside of Washington State for, let me look here, I have it up because I have it loaded up here, for 6 days. It was in transit from Washington to Pennsylvania with no other scans, no information, nothing, whatever. Okay, that happens, but by like day 5 or 6 I was starting to get a little bit worried. Is this thing lost, whatever? Then one night, finally the night of day 6 at 9 p.m. it shows up in Philadelphia, which is about 2 hours from where I'm at in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, okay, so I'll get it in the next day or two. And then later that night at 1:56 a.m. it showed up at my local post office. I'm like, okay, so I'll get it the next day, whatever. It's the middle of the night, maybe. Yeah, great. And then I look again when I wake up in the morning. I get up, and I got up around 5:30, and I looked, and it said at 5:28 it was in New Jersey. Now I live, just a couple minutes, like 5 minutes, 10 of heavy traffic from my local post office. And for some reason, between, like 1:30 in the morning and like 5:30 in the morning, that same morning, somewhere in the middle of the night, it was just shipped out and sent to New Jersey for no reason. It was at the local post office, the right post office, and just a couple hours before it opened, it was sent to New Jersey. What the hell is going on? And then the package sat in New Jersey for 3 days. Sat in New Jersey, and not like, and it was like it's a small town in New Jersey. I tried looking it up. It's a small town post office in just some random town in New Jersey for who knows what reason. For several days, and then it was finally sent back. And last night, it showed up in Philly again. Didn't go back to my local post office where it was randomly sent from for no good reason. Went past, and from where I'm at to get to Philly from where it was at in New Jersey, it literally had to go past where I live to get to Philly. And then finally this morning it shows that it is at my local post office and out for delivery. But we will see what actually happens here. I normally get my mail about, what time is it? About 5-6 hours from when I'm filming this. So we shall see if it actually shows up. And it's not really that I'm super impatient to get it. Like, as much as I want it, I can wait, whatever, it's fine. I'm just worried that the more it's out there, the greater chance that it's going to be destroyed. Because I've had stuff arrive, like we've got my wife an old iMac, the color ones that you have like the handle on, that kind of stuff. And eventually we'll get another one, probably after we move. But that was partially the sender's issue, didn't package it well, but then the package looked like it had been destroyed, like someone had just gone nuts on it. You're looking at like Kamehameha to the face on that thing. Just unbelievable how destroyed that thing was, completely shattered. And so I get worried, and it's just ridiculous, the amount of waste, it's unbelievable. Like, what the fuck are you doing, USPS? Like, the Postal Service is insane, and we wonder why it's, always having money issues. But yeah, it's just unbelievable. So yeah, there's something else I want to talk about. I don't even remember, because this just pissed me off so much. I'm looking at this, I'm like, this thing better come today. This thing needs to show up. Yeah, unbelievable. Oh yeah, now I remember what it was. I actually wanted to announce something that starting not this Friday, but the next Friday, was that the 10th? Yeah, on the 10th of March, I'm going to start doing something every single Friday. Your weekly laser talk. It's going to be talking about Laserdiscs every Friday. I'm going to have a video talking about a movie that I watched on Laserdisc that week, maybe talking a little bit about specifically what was cool about that Laserdisc version of that movie. So really just kind of movie talk revolving around Laserdiscs. Every Friday I'm going to do that. and for the foreseeable future, and just the normal stuff throughout the week. You know, video game reviews, book videos and pickups videos, Chinchilla stuff, you know, whatever, the normal stuff throughout the week. Nothing's really changing, but consistently every Friday I'm going to do a weekly Laserdisc related thing, and occasionally maybe have someone else on to talk about that or experience Laserdisc for the first time. I'm going to do one coming up here with my brother when he's on spring break. I'll have him on talking about his first experience with Laserdisc as he comes over and gets to see Laserdisc movies for the first time in my giant collection. It's going to be kind of funny because he'll see my collection. The last time he saw it, did not have a working player. I had a broken player sitting in the living room and maybe like a dozen movies, and now he's going to come when I have a working player, a really nice one, and just shy of 200 movies. So a huge difference just in the last time he was over. And yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to make that announcement, talk about a few things, and holy crap, if you had any issues like this with the Postal Service lately, especially like USPS, like it's just unbelievable. Not just stuff taking a long time, it's one issue, but stuff just kind of going everywhere for no reason, not even getting lost, just like being shipped from here to here to here to here to here to get from here to here. And just, it's unbelievable, the circular logic and the amount of waste, and it's not really moving from a small post office to a sorting facility to a small post office. It's just moving around all over the place for no friggin' reason.